You're listening to the new 91.5 WGLZ, West Liberty, West Virginia.
And we're back.
We are back.
Sorry about that, guys. I kind of played a song right there. But, yeah, in case you just tuning in or whatever, I just want to reintroduce, you're listening to The Idea. By the way, I'm going to get like a really cool intro for this thing, so it sounds like an awesome thing. So when you come in, it's like The Idea. So, yeah, Ninja Philosophical Radio Talk Show, pretty much getting real about who we are and what we think about the world and stuff like that.
We're getting real about everything.
Yeah, we break it down for you guys. Matter of fact, we're probably some of the most real guys you'll ever hear on radio.
Definitely.
Talk radio, definitely. So
we're some of the most realest guys you'll ever talk to. Period.
I know.
Minus the radio.
Yeah.
You come and talk to us in real life.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
We'll be real with you.
Oh, I know.
You want to get real? We'll talk to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, I guess I was just wrapping up on who I am and how I came to be where I'm at and things like that. So. Yeah, I guess the conclusion of all of it is that I know who I am, you know, in a sense. I'm still going through some things, though. Mm-hmm. You know, I guess at this point, it's kind of just figuring out where am I going in my life, you know, since I bounce around. I mean, I called you freaking out last night about my major and stuff like that. So, you know, I feel like I guess it's spiritual in this sense, but I feel like I'm meant to do something. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like I'm not just meant to just do... I don't know, just a typical kind of career or job or something like that. I really feel like I want to do something that really engages this, or like really gets people to get real. You know what I mean? Like something to where really I feel like how religion unites people. You know, like in a sense, you know, I feel like talking real like this unites people. You know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, with our talk show, this is going to unite all of us, you know, and we'll all have different views and opinions and things like that, but I really feel like we're all going to get to know who each other is, you know what I mean, and really just get real and just have that, you know. So yeah, I just want to do a little promo for our show again right there.
Right.
Yeah, but religion wise, you know, like you said, it's really hard to know what religion is. The religion, you know what I mean. A lot of them you know, and I'll debate it with a lot of people, you know, and I've debated it, and people, you know, faith give good arguments, you know, too. You know, I always think I'm so sure of myself, but then someone always throws me a curveball, and I'm just like, darn it, I never thought of it like that, you know. And so everybody, you know, there are deep people in faith. You know what I mean? I think you got to also give faith the credibility for it being around for so long, even though it's changed forms and it's changed gods and deities and all these things. The concept has been around for a long time, so we can't just alienate it and not give it that respect, I guess, in that sense, because it's older than we've been alive and much older than that. So, you know, and they always bring up a lot of good points, you know, but points nevertheless, and you know, and I feel like But the things that I would always bring up is, like I said earlier, because I had this discussion actually with an aunt of mine, and I said to her, I was like, well, you know, how do you know, for instance, in the times when Jesus walked the earth and was spreading, you know, his word, and even Christianity to this day, what about like the ancient Aztecs and the Mayans, you know, or all the Native Americans who had no idea of what was going on? Basically, like Africa, Europe, and Asia was kind of like all the same neck of the woods, but like the Americas was pretty isolated, you know, geographically. And how did the like we were saying earlier, like were those people just automatically just doomed to go to hell? Like, did they have any like chance? They didn't even hear about this stuff. And I bring that kind of question up, and it always just kind of like stops people, and then they make things up. They invent things. Right. It doesn't say it anywhere in any text. It's just they invent things, saying like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe like they get another chance and like another life." Like you're just making stuff up. You know what I mean? You're just like making stuff up to like cling to your preconceived identity because you're insecure. Whenever I question you about this stuff, like you can't just say, "That's a good point. I never thought of it like that." Like an honest person would say that. An honest person would be like, "Whoa, you know, that's a good point. I don't know. Not make stuff up, but I just don't know." And I don't hear like those kinds of responses from people so much nowadays. But yeah, and it kind of stumped her. I mean, she didn't really have much to say to it, but that's like one of the points that I'll bring up oftentimes in religion. And you know, of course, you know, with all the different religions and things like that, you just don't know if I mean, I'm to the point where I'm not going to, like, discredit, or I'm not going to say I know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to say that they're wrong, you know? And I know it might be a microscopic chance on some of them because we've changed religion so much, but I believe in possibilities. That's one of the things that I believe in my life, is that I believe that really anything is possible. Anything is possible. And I've had quite a few discussions about this with a lot of people, and you know, and they'll bring up, well, is it possible for something to be impossible? Well, I would say, well, yeah, it's impossible for something to be impossible. But how would you ever indefinitely know that that concept is absolutely impossible? You know, again, we're in an alien world. Mm-hmm. You know, we're born here or whatever. We're not alien to it, but we're still alien. We're new to Earth as a species in its entirety. We're in our adolescence, really. And, you know, so how would you just like... Wait, where was I going with that? I lost that.
we were back how it ties in, you know, to religion. You were saying, you know, how each religion, how you can't say exactly which one is right and which one is wrong, you know. You know, like we were saying, because a lot of people, they make themselves, like, whenever you question them, you know, they don't know, if they don't know the answer, how they'll make stuff up.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, nobody really knows, you know, I think that's the point we were getting to. Nobody really knows because, you know, the point is, no one really knows, and people can't be genuine enough to just be like, you know what, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I feel like everybody's got to kind of eventually admit that they really don't know what's going on.
Right.
And, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And a concept, I'm in a politics and development class.
Yeah.
And they say that modernism, like for the global south, is to basically, and I directly asked my teacher this, and I'm quoting it, that I said, in order to be considered modernized, do you have to leave behind your faith? Is that essentially what you're doing? Or at least not, like, be as into it or half butt it? You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like... You got to compromise your faith in order to be considered modern. And Christianity nowadays isn't medieval Christianity. You know what I mean? It has evolved. It reflects our modern time. You know what I mean? It isn't the same it used to be. You know, it's the same Bible or whatever, but how many people we know don't really go to church? Or like every Sunday. And how many people we know are just like, they say they're Christian, but they don't practice or do anything that's Christian.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like a bunch of hypocrites.
Exactly.
And how could you just sit there and just lie to yourself like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It
drives me
agree.
nuts. It's like, are you like not... You obviously don't know yourself enough to be real with your soul. And it just drives me nuts how people are avoiding those kinds of things.
Absolutely.
Avoiding just facing that. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what, Tyler? You just hit it right on the spot right there. You know, when you said that, because, and that's going back to, you know, what I was saying earlier, you know, how I feel about, you know, the church sometimes. I feel like there's a lot of people that go, you know, and in religion in general, there's a lot of people who, you know, say that they believe in this, say that they do this and do this, but, you know, the night before, they're out, you know, getting, like, trash and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of that.
Exactly.
And, you know, they don't actually practice it, but they do what they, you know, I guess, when they're around other people of that religion or whatever, they pretend they kind of put on that mask, that facade that they're, you know, they're worthy, that, you know, that they are, you know, for this religion or whatever. But really they don't, on their own free time, they don't do anything about it. They don't practice it.
Exactly.
They don't care. You know. So I feel like that was another thing that kind of got me, like I was saying earlier, kind of like away from the church. You know, in a sense, because I started feeling like there are some people like that. You know, that I seen that they were doing wrong, but they would come every Sunday, sit in the church, and pretend that they are absolutely. They're God, yes, no, it's not like that, you know. And it kind of, like I said, it kind of gets me fired up a little bit, but it does. But you know, that's like I was saying, you hit it right on the spot when you said that, you know, and a lot of people, I feel they don't. It's sad to see sometimes, you know, but a lot of people are like that, you know. They do those things, and you know, so when it went back, you know, come into religion, it's like, how do you know the people? And I know there's some people that I can actually see, you know, I can tell that they are genuine, you know, they really believe the faith and all this, but how do you know when you're actually, talking to someone like that truly is really into what they believe in. Not just say that they go to church, not to say that they believe in this certain religion, but the people who actually practice it day to day. Follow.
Yeah, like literally, like read the Bible.
Yeah,
like,
literally
how many people
do that.
Like that are Christians nowadays actually will sit down and read the Bible.
Right, exactly.
And like take the time to like translate those texts, and that like religion is like a life dedication.
It is.
But we're gonna get back to this, guys. I got to go to break, but we will be right back after the short break. Don't miss it. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to 91.5 WGLZ.
You're listening to the new 91.5 WGLZ, West Liberty, West Virginia.